Welcome back, everybody. This is Mog on Mog's Cast, playing some more Kerbal Space Program with you folks today. So I know I mentioned in the last video that I wanted to go up toward Jool, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. As you may notice here, I am kind of flying our AeroGlider again. The reason for this is we're going to be hitting Laythe, guys, or at least that's the plan. Now I know most of the time. Sorry, I should have warned you on that launch. I just released the thing. Hold on, I'll get this going. Un momento. Okay. Sorry about that. My bad. Here comes the launch. Alright, so yeah, we're going to be going up toward Laythe, and as you can see, we are rolling with the AeroGlider again. This is the Mark II. Not much has been changed other than a few things in the launch stage. I redid some of the staging over here, actually, because it got kind of screwed up, I guess. Oh, and we're tilting the wrong way just a little bit. I want to be tilting just a hair this way. Control yourself, Rocket, control! But yeah, so we're going to be going out toward Laythe. The idea was that I wanted to get out toward Jool, but I was having some trouble building a rocket that could do a station out there. I'm probably going to have to resort to doing it in tiny little chunks to get up into Jool. Now that's the tricky part about that, is that they each are going to be able, or have to be able to dock to one another, which means that they'll have to have fuel of some sort on one part or another, or at least a part that goes up there and collects everything together. Which might actually be what we have to do, get like a little tow machine out there and bring everything together for the stage. Oh, there goes our first tanks, better drop those off. And yeah, so, oh, we're above terminal velocity. I am just not paying attention here. My bad. But yeah, so we're going up toward Jool. Gonna be hitting that up instead of, Laythe instead of Jool. And yeah, definitely going to be trying to get up to Jool. I've never been there before. I haven't even tested this craft to get out there. I'm assuming it'll work based on how much Delta V it's got. And I decided to do Laythe because we had the AeroGlider pretty much all put together and ready to go. So hopefully this is going to be another fun one. I've got my joystick all set up. I'm using the keyboard right now for the launch of the rocket. It's so much easier to control rockets themselves with a keyboard and mouse. Easier to control planes with a joystick, in my opinion, and probably your opinion if you've done it too. So, yeah, we're going up. We're getting close to about 8 kilometers off the surface, and approaching, oh, never mind. Terminal velocity is above 200 now, not a big deal. I can just keep pushing on. I always forget that this is rotated 90 degrees, the craft, so when I get started, like, my orientation on the nav ball's off. I don't go to the right, I have to go up to maintain the eastward direction, which is just odd. I don't know why I did that, and I don't know why I haven't corrected for it, but hey, whatever. So about to drop our next drop tanks, and we might as well just start tilting over at least a little bit before those go. And there they are right there. So let's kick those out of there. Woo, almost clipped them, but that is alright. So we're tilting over to our 45-degree burn angle right there. Oh, stop. Okay. That's fine. This thing just has a lot of weight in the back, so it's got a lot of momentum when it starts tilting. But yeah, so we're gonna start rotating here. It looks like as well too, but we're gonna get up to altitude and we'll go from there. Okay. So as you can see, we're nearly up into orbit, just doing our final circularization burn here. And I think I've kind of realized something that might make getting a craft up Jool a bit easier is if I can get a launcher up to this point and finish its circularization that has still this last launch stage on it. And if I can refuel this launch stage, that'll give me a ton of extra Delta V. Oops, and I'm passing that node. A ton of extra Delta V to actually get out to Jool. Now, I can build interplanetary stages just fine, and the problem is I think I'm trying to launch too big of a payload up. I want to get something that's up there that can store Kerbals, that has a hitchhiker container, so that I can theoretically say they've got supplies or whatever. But you know, I think I'm just pushing it too far. I've got ones up there that are like microstations that I've been doing out to the other planets that are cool. It makes getting a station up there super simple and quick. And in one run, you can just have it up there with your docking nodes and everything. The problem with that is getting out to these further planets is very tricky with that kind of a payload. So I think what I need to do is just get, you know, get something else up. So we're definitely in a circularized orbit here. I'm going to call that good. Stop following that node. And let's get rid of this thing. And I did forget to make sure that I was aligned to Jool. So let me take a peek here. I highly doubt it. Yeah, I need like almost 90 more degrees to Jool than I have here. So, in that case, we're going to come back to you guys once I get that all squared away. Okay guys, so I am back here. We are at a pretty good phase angle for Jool now. I might be able to go one more rotation around, but I'm just going to go for it. Might use a little more fuel, but I think we have it. Shouldn't be too big of an issue. I should be able to get this encounter without too much trouble. So we're getting up closer to the node. We need to burn about just shy of 2,000 meters per second delta V. And then I've got a little bit of orientation correction in there too, so if you folks are looking at the calculator, that's why there's a difference. So let's see, shall we? I think I'm going to burn at T-minus 5 minutes, because we are going to be switching over to our nukes about halfway through. This is not going to be completing our burn. That stage, that is. And yeah. Okay, so let's do some time warp, get up closer to this node, and then we'll go for it. And I'm going to call that good right there, I think, and let's get this thing going. Burn off the rest of this stage, and we'll get up to get out toward Jool and Laythe. So I was going, literally, like I was going to do a station around Jool. That was my plan for today's episode. Fortunately, I just couldn't get one put together that passed enough testing. Like I couldn't do it. I was just having too much trouble, and that's why I think I'm gonna have to cut it back a bit and do this stage or this station in stages. So that should be interesting. It's been a long time since I've had to do that. The last one was on Kerbal, doing our first station in Season 1, which was I had a lot of fun doing. So this is gonna be interesting. It's just a longer process to get these things out there. Anyway, we're about to drop this drop stage. Pretty quick here. There it is. Cut throttle, pop those, and let's throttle back up. So it's asking for about 5 more minutes. So let's cut this back a little bit actually. I'm gonna time warp a little bit. It looks like we started a bit early. That's fine. I'm gonna do it around 3 minutes. T-minus 3 minutes is when we're gonna continue this burn. So right about here. That should be fine. Well, there we go. So we are on our way, guys. We have started our ascent, I'll call it, to Laythe. So this should be interesting. Oh, is that why we're off orientation? Am I controlling from the mech jet pod? Is that where it thinks I'm controlling from? Because I should be controlling from this drone body up here. I don't want to change that mid-burn while it's doing some corrections, but maybe I'll get that fixed so that my orientation is proper, and I don't get stuck on the launch stage when we detach that, or on its launch platform for the AeroGlider. Now, if you'll remember the last video, is this music too loud? Here, let me see if is that better? It's getting pretty loud in my ear. Hopefully that's not terrible for you guys. I didn't even notice, I was just talking over it. But, yeah, so if you recall from the last time we used this AeroGlider to get over to Eve, and drop this gliding probe onto Eve, you'll know that landing it attached was an issue. That did not want to happen properly. There was too much, I want to say, drag on the, or too much lift on the top portion of the drone with all the wings, that even the center of mass being lower down at this stage with the parachutes and being below the parachutes for the center of mass, it was still wobbling around like crazy and it wouldn't stabilize. So I had to detach it and let this stage drop on its own after deploying legs and deploying parachutes, and kind of stick around as it touched down. It was fine to land on Eve alone. The problem is on Laythe, the atmosphere is going to be different. I have no idea if that's going to survive or how this is really going to handle in the atmosphere of Eve. Laythe. So this is going to be an experiment. It'll definitely be an interesting experience to see what happens with this. So hopefully this goes all well. Once again, this is an untested run. So you guys are getting a sneak peek at what may or may not happen behind the scenes on a regular basis. So another thing is, I've got a Steam community set up for you guys. So if you guys want to jump in, the link's in the description below. You can join my Steam community for the show, hang out with other people who like the show and want to game. You guys are more than welcome to join, say hello, post your ideas. I'm kind of using it as like a forum and a gathering point for people who might enjoy the show and might want to play some games with me. So if you guys, I know there was somebody suggesting we do a one-on-one match in Team Fortress 2. I have Team Fortress 2 installed. I am not that great at it, but I will certainly play ya. I can't remember your name off the top of my head. I apologize. I will look that up, and I will actually try to get back in touch with you, because I am kind of curious to interact a little bit more with the community, be it me getting my ass handed to me in TF2 or whatnot. It's always fun. And if you're cool with it, maybe we'll do a recording of it. Who knows? I'm just spitballing here, so maybe so. Anyway, we're gonna, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward this and not put you guys through this whole launch. I try to keep these videos a little on the quicker side. So we'll see you guys as we get out toward Jool or any other sort of corrections I might have to do. See you soon. Okay. So I am doing a bit of a correction here. We're having to cut in a little further and then to get an encounter with Eve, or to Jool. Blah, I keep saying Eve. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. So it's going to take about 1,000 delta V, meters per second delta V to do this, and that should be just fine. We have more than enough this tank. We'll still have a good, a good amount over 3,000 meters per second delta V in this stage after this burn is completed, in which to get our capture. Now the trick here is with Jool, I'm gonna try to see if I can do an aero break in Jool's atmosphere before hitting Laythe, because I do want to see how that's gonna work. I want to see how thick that atmosphere is firsthand. I mean, numbers on a Wikipedia page are great if you understand the math behind it. I don't. So, well, I don't entirely. So I want to go ahead and make sure that I get that first-hand experience with aero braking in this atmosphere and see how it works. Because we're going to be able to do that, then we're going to be able to do it on Laythe. So, yeah, this burn's going to take a little bit longer. I will go ahead and just fast-forward this in some physical time warp and get this moving. So as you can see, we are still doing okay on fuel. Come on, camera view. Let's do orbital. That's easier out here. And yeah, so I want to give you guys a heads up. We are going to be doing some more games here soon. I know I'm like halfway through this season, to 25 episodes roughly. Halfway through the second season here. Now I don't know what I'm going to be doing after we hit these last couple planets, because I want to kind of get everything established, and then I want to kind of do some explorational missions, like not just establishing lander and a station. I want to actually maybe go do some Easter egg hunting, see what I can find. I don't know how far we're going to push that out. I don't know entirely what we're going to do there. I don't think there's anything on Laythe to find, if I'm not mistaken. I've got the Wikipedia page pulled up here on this side. Whoa! Whoa! I should be paying attention. Okay, so let's pay attention for a moment and watch this periapse, so that I don't go crazy and just overshoot everything like I almost freaking did. Looking at the other screen on the Wikipedia page as my burn is getting finished. Ooh, that was a close one. So Laythe, I don't see anything on its Wikipedia page stating anything about sort of, you know, Easter eggs. But it's kind of cool. It's a very waterous planet, it looks like. I know that there's land on it, like little islands. So this is going to be interesting, finding a landing spot for this lander. Landing spot for lander. Oh, that makes more sense and isn't really as funny as I pictured it in my head. Anywho, we're going to come back to you guys once we get over to Jool area. Okay, guys. So we are getting in close here to Jool, and as you can see, it's kind of creeping up on us right here. We're almost at our encounter point. So we're going to go ahead and keep time warping and get up a bit closer here. And here we go. There it is. Come on. Give us our little time warp jig. There we go. Just getting rid of you. And you're still going to pop up. Alright. Whatever. Okay. So coming in here, we've got a pretty long encounter. Now the trick here is we're going to zoom in, take a quick look here. Now I've got our orientation along its equator pretty well stationary. The trick now is going to be seeing if we can do this aero break and then get an encounter. So can I watch that? Oh. Because I don't want to get... Whoa, what were those? That's a bop encounter, a Tylo encounter. I'm going to move this up just a hair so that we can kind of watch this a little easier. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm going to come back to you guys when I get this all figured out. Okay, so I've got an encounter here with, what is this, Tylo, I think. Yeah, Tylo. Now the cool thing here is that with just a little bit of fuel, 324 meters a second delta V, it's gonna toss us into a close encounter here on Tylo. Okay, go away, Periapps. I don't want to see you anymore. On Tylo, and that's good. That gravity of Tylo is actually gonna whip us around and get us captured in the system with Jool. Cool thing about this is we don't have to use any more delta V to get that capture. We'll just be using the gravitational pull and the angle it's throwing us at. Now, I may or may not have used enough fuel to do this already, as far as the capture goes, but I guess we'll see, because the orbital mechanics here are a bit different. But I think it's kind of cool that we can get that encounter and have it circularize us as it is. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. Zoom on in here to the node. Slow that down. Okay. 2 hours. 1 hour left. We're just gonna wait for this to burn on down. Well, bad terminology for space travel. Burn is not the same thing. You cannot use that like that. You can, but it's confusing. So I need to burn it about 30 seconds to get this right. Whoa! So there we go, starting our burn. Let's take a look. We still have about half tank of fuel here, if not more. We have more than half of our delta V left because your ship becomes more efficient as you get lower on weight. So the less fuel this has in it, the better efficiency it has, and the more delta V it actually has per bit of fuel that it uses. It's kind of cool. So the trick here is going to be getting to Laythe. Now it's the closest one in here, so we have lots of moons to visit here in the Jool system. The thing about Jool is it's a gas planet. You can't land on Jool. So it's one of those situations where the only real places to land are its moons. Man, I mean, it's got some cool moons. Laythe, it's actually got oceans. How cool is that for another planet? So getting close here. About to finish up our burn. And then we'll get the encounter with Laythe. All squared away. And there it is. There's our encounter, and boom. How's our Periapps looking? Can we bring that down more? We can. Oh, let's see. Is it going to start building again? Yeah, it is going to start building out again. Okay, so let's leave it there. Get rid of that node, and we'll just go cruising. Cruise on in. Ignore Tylo as we go by it, but it should be a pretty cool view. Now, where is it? Can we see it? Can we see the system? I don't see it just yet. I'm sure we'll be seeing it soon. I'm sure we'll be seeing it very, very soon. And it's probably within sight and I'm just blind. Anywhere? I don't see it. Okay, whatever. That's fine. Let's zip on in here. We are still pretty far away, I suppose. That's pretty cool. Just slowly tracking on in here. Okay, we should definitely be seeing it now. There's Jool. So let's flip over to ProGrid and watch as these moons try to kill us. So there's a moon. We're gonna get some close calls on moons here. They might not be that close. Like Bop is passing in front of us. Pole will be way out to the side, but it's tiny. So I'm not surprised we don't see it. Pole is literally just a little speck. Little speck. Now let's watch. Can we see Pole? Or Bop, that is what I'm trying to say. And there's Laythe, looks like right there. If you can see that spinning, if you got high def turned on, it's passing in front of Jool right now. Right there. That looks like Laythe. So that's the one we're heading toward, guys. See if we can catch up to it. think that was Laythe. It might have been Vol. Maybe. Anyway, here comes Tylo. Let's get a close view on Tylo here. Looks like I think that's Tylo. It's probably the one we're going to get an encounter with. I would think. I don't see any others that are closer. Yeah, that's Tylo. I've never been here though, so I'm guessing. I'm pretty sure that's Tylo. So once we get into this sphere of influence here, I'm going to see what I can do about getting an encounter with Laythe. In fact, I'm going to... Oh, looks like we are in the sphere of influence there. Let's set Laythe as our target. We do have an inclination difference, so we can try to address that. But I'm actually going to wait until we get into the sphere of influence for sure. And there it is. Ooh. Let's see. Can we slow it down? Was that an encounter with Vol, looks like? Yeah. Oh, no. That was an encounter with Laythe. Or at least, it's telling us where Laythe is. Not an actual encounter. Nope. Nope. Away with you. Okay. So we're just going to go for it. We're just going to pass through. Well, I should have shown you guys that. Pass by, Tylo. Bye. Is that Laythe? That looks like Laythe. Delete that. And we will get this all corrected as we get closer out to the normal sphere of influence around Jool, so that we're uninterrupted by sphere of influence changes. I'm going to come back to you guys once we get that encounter with Laythe all set up. Okay, guys. So we are coming in here for the final adjustment burn. So we're going to be kicking out and lowering our velocity so that we kind of hook back in toward Laythe. So I have an encounter. It's going to drop us into the atmosphere. And with that, we should be able to aero brake in Laythe's atmosphere, though it is a lot thinner. It's not as thick as Kerbal's atmosphere, so it should be interesting to see how this all works out. I have no idea how this landing is going to go. I don't really know how the glider is going to actually handle in this thin atmosphere, so I guess we'll see. So wish me luck. So let's speed this on up and we'll get this moving, because we do got a bit more to burn off. In fact, it's going to take a little while, so I'm just going to come back to you guys as we finish our burn. Okay guys, so we're coming on in here to Laythe, and we're going to be getting down to about 22 kilometers up, probably lower than that because it's probably just going to pull us in, I would imagine, but we may have to do some retro burning. I guess we'll find out. So I'm going to switch back to this view so we can kind of watch it all happening, and I'm going to flip to retrograde so that we have our burners set up so that I can do some retro burning, because we'll probably need it, honestly. So moving on over to that, let's turn on some physical time warp and just get this thing going. Yes, thank you. So we officially, not just yet. Let's keep pushing. There it is. So we are officially in the gravity well of Laythe, and it's saying we don't have a periapse, so I'm gonna go ahead and fix that. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it. We're just gonna go down to the surface. So let's fast forward this thing and get this moving. So there it is, Laythe, the big ocean moon of Jool. Hopefully we can get to a spot where we can actually land. Oh, I'm going to turn that down. And let's go ahead and get reoriented and flip on our auto cam, because that should be a bit easier to see in the planet's influence here. And we need to brake. So let's do that immediately. Because we are going much too fast to do anything worthwhile here. So I'm going to turn on physical time warp and get this moving, because this is going to be interesting. So we're about 30 kilometers off the surface. And it claims that we'll have an apoapse, but I don't think we're going to be getting that luxury to zip back out. This is going to be an encounter and gone kind of a thing, because we are on a collision course. And in the meantime, I'm actually going to go ahead and flip around, kick our parachutes up to this other stage, if I can do it quickly enough. Eject that. Nope, not that. Eject those. And turn on that. Hopefully, we should be okay. We are slowing down. But I'm going to pull out our parachutes. And we are not over any sort of land whatsoever. So this is going to be interesting. Pretty sure we're just going to have to ditch that lander and just take the probe. Okay. So here we go with the probe. Switch to a chase cam that I can actually see what I'm doing. And let's see if we can get this thing over to land. So this might be a little tricky, because we are certainly losing speed. So I hope this is going to be good enough. Well, I am gaining speed, so that's good. So I should be able to keep this thing airborne. But I need to find some land to go to. Something nearby. Anything at all. And I don't see a thing. Okay, so here's the trick. Let's go back up in altitude a little bit by just spinning in circles here like this. And gaining speed. See if we can find anything on the map. Map view says we need to go west. So if that is north, this should be west, the 270 line, I do believe. Right? No, that's east. Okay, so we need to go on the 90. No, that's east. Which way is east? This nav ball's confusing. Okay, so I'm actually using some rockets to hopefully get us a little further out toward land in the right direction. Thankfully, this thing has a okay, never mind, doesn't have like any fuel left. But there is some land. So the trick here is going to be getting over to there. I'm not going to make you guys sit through that because that's going to be a long flight. I will take care of this and come back to you guys as we get closer to land. Or getting closer to crashing. I guess we'll see. Okay, guys. I think we're going to make it. We're getting a little closer here. I'm actually kind of surprised. I didn't think I was going to have enough fuel to get out here, but I haven't used any since we left off there. Now it's starting to lag a little bit. Let me see if I can get that fixed. I'll be right back. Okay, that seems a little better. Okay, so I've just been pretty much just trying to ride and keep the speed up a little bit and keep my my prograde marker from dipping me too low. We're just on the cusp of the thicker atmosphere level on the atmosphere reader here that you can see, which is about 10 kilometers up, and inside that this seems to handle pretty well. Above that, this thing gets really flippy, and the glider, that is. So when I'm in the thinner atmosphere, this thing's pretty hard to control. In the lower atmosphere, I can actually build speed by turning and banking inside the atmosphere here. So that helps me actually gain speed and stay in the air. Otherwise, I'd just be falling like a rock. Up in the lower atmosphere, it was super difficult to control. But I think we're going to be lucky enough and actually be able to land here. So I'm going to turn on some physical time warp. I'm going to put us on precision controls and actually just get in here. Turn on our lights, and we don't have any sort of true altimeter for this. We can't see our distance from the surface very well, so I'm going to have to kind of gauge this by lights alone. Our altimeter on the screen here is to sea level, so if we're above land, that doesn't make any sense for these ones. There's no points that are actually going to be lower that aren't covered in water on this planet, or any planet, I don't think, in this game. In real life, totally possible. In KSP, I don't believe so. I'm sorry, nudging my headset there. So I'm going to bring this thing in for a landing kind of right down toward the beach, I think. And we'll see if we can do this without crashing. So I'm going to bring back up physical time warp at least a little bit so we can do this a bit faster. And I do have my lights on. Let's go ahead and extend the landing legs. And I kind of want to find a spot where it's not too bumpy. Which I think is going to be kind of right down here. I'm probably going along the beach and not trying to go uphill or downhill so that we're not gaining speed or running into anything that's a bit nuts for us. Whoa. Okay. I am going to turn off physical time warp so that we're in real time here, so it's a bit easier. There's our shadow. You can see it right there. And let's bring this thing on in for a landing. I think along this dune here we should be good. We did have to ditch the landing stage with the parachutes for this thing, which is totally fine, not a big deal. It wasn't necessary anyway for this. All of the main tools are on this glider just in case. And whoa, I think is that actual bumps or is that just texturing? Oh, that's gonna be rough if those are actual dunes. So let's try to bleed off some more speed here before we go in for our full landing. As you can see, our shadows riding along there with us should give you a decent idea of how high up we are. Ooh, we are real close. And coming over the cusp here looks like. Might be heading a little more downhill at this point. Yep. So I'm going to tilt it so that we're not running against it and hopefully not flip ourselves over. But I think this should be good. Though this is we are gaining speed, so maybe I'm going to ride this one out. In fact, you know what? We're going to turn around. It's going to gain us some speed, but I think it'll put us on a better course for landing. I'm going to try to ride back over that edge there, that little crest of the hill. See if we can bleed off enough speed to actually get this landed. And physical time warp, welcome back. Okay. We're going like 12 meters a second. So that's like next to nothing. So let's tilt this down the hill just a hair and actually bring this in. And there we go. Whoa. Oh no. Okay. That was tilting us. Okay. I think... Oh, stop doing that. It's like trying to roll us. Oh no. Don't roll. That's not cool. Turn off SAS. See if we can rotate ourselves back over. Can we give it just a little juice? Okay. There we go. Well, that should bring us in for a stop, and we should be okay. No. Stop leaning. Why do you lean? Bring this thing to a resting stop. There we go. We are on all of our wheels, and we are good. Now, the trick is leaving it here is probably going to start rolling. We're probably going to lose this probe sooner or later. But for now, let's just go ahead and extend our communicatrons and turn on our science tools, and we'll call this mission a success. Since, technically, if we engage the brakes, they should stay, but with KSP, I don't think it's going to. But cool. So that's our glider that we built. That's done well in Kerbal, it's done well on Eve, and it's done well over here on Laythe. So not too bad, if I do say so myself. If you want a close-up look, I'll go ahead and zoom in here real quick. As you can see, it's got that tiny little Rocco Max engine on the back. It's got a small Oscar B fuel tank there and a small Oscar B fuel tank up front. Avionics controls, couple of panels, it's got our science instruments, a battery right here. And if you take a look, it's got the Delta wings here, and I forgot what these ones are called, but yeah, they do the full tilt. So that's our glider. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.